Namaste everyone. Welcome to Lessons with Lakshmi. Today we will be discussing about the poem Wind by Subramanya Bharati in Tamil and translated to English by A.K. Ramanujan. The objectives of our discussion include about the poet and brief summary of the poem recitation with line-by-line explanation, rhyme scheme of the poem, figures of speech or literary devices used in the poem, and discussion of question and answers. About the poet Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati, also known as Bharatiyar, was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, Indian independence activist, a social reformer, and a polyglot. Popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati, he was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry. A.K. Ramanujan is a Kannada and English poet well known for his translation of classical and modern poetry. The summary of the poem Wind by Subramanya Bharati is originally in Tamil. It was translated in English by A.K. Ramanujan. The poem describes the violent nature of wind and how it destroys everything it comes across, and how the wind makes fun of weak and helps the strong. The poet tells us to be friends with wind, we have to be strong mentally as well as physically. The message the poem gives us is we have to be strong to face the hardships of life. The poem contains 4 stanzas containing 5 lines each, which is called as quintain. Thus, the poem has 4 quintains. The poem is a free verse. There is no rhyme scheme to the poem. The figures of speech used in the poem include anaphora, personification, repetition, and alliteration. I will recite the poem stanza wise and then will explain it line by line. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. Now, in our first stanza, the poet requests the wind to come softly and not to break the shutters of the windows, and not to scatter the papers, and not to throw down the books on the shelf. Now the poet speaks directly to the wind and tells him, look, see what you did. What did the wind do? You threw them all down. You threw all the books from the shelf down. Now in this stanza, the poet tells us what the wind should not do. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. Now in the first stanza, you see after each sentence there is a full stop. After the sentence wind come softly, full stop. That means one line ends there. There is no enjambment. In the next stanza, you see you tore the pages of the books, full stop. Means what did the wind do? It tore the pages of the books. And the wind brought rain again. And the poet is saying the wind is very clever. He is telling the wind directly, you are very clever at making fun of weaklings. Weaklings and frail. Frail means people who are fragile. Means weak and fragile people the wind makes fun of. Then he goes on to explain what all fragile things. Crumbling houses. Crumbling means which are at the brink of falling down. Crumbling houses, doors, rafters, wood, bodies, lives, and hearts. If you see this line, the crumbling is repeated again and again to stress onto the point that which are weak. And also it is continuation, it is enjambment, it is moving on to the next line. That is, it is a single line. There is no full stop. See, the frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, that is a single sentence until crumbling hearts. That is what we said. It is made up of 5 lines. Even though it looks here 7 lines, but that frail crumbling houses, that 3 lines is a single line. It's not different lines. Now The poet says, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Now, what is winnowing? See, I have put down a picture over here. What do they do with the grain? Is they have to remove the husk or a chaff from the grain. In that case, there will be a very big fan, and from the fan, the wind will be blowing, and when they at from a height, when they move that grain and the husk is very light, the chaff is very light, and that is blown away by the wind, and the grain is heavy, so it falls down onto the ground. That is how the grain is separated from the husk. Same way, poet says the wind god winnows, means it sifts the strong people from the weak people. Like husk, the weak people will be blown away by the wind, unlike the strong grain, only strong people will remain. That is what wind god winnows. Now in the third stanza, the poet says, he won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to form the body. Make the heart steadfast. Now here the poet says, in order to be strong, not to be blown away by the wind, what we have to do? He won't do what you tell him. The poet is saying, if you tell something to wind, he is not going to listen to you. So come on. So he urges us, he encourages us to build strong homes which are not crumbling, which cannot be crushed by the force of wind. Let's join the doors firmly. Means these are not crumbling doors, these are strong doors which are fixed very firmly. Practice to form the body, means exercise your body and make it strong, and make the heart steadfast, make the heart also strong. So the poet is saying, make yourself strong, not weak, so that wind cannot do anything to you. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Now in this last stanza, the poet tells us how to be friends with wind. The wind blows away weak fires and it makes the strong fires roar and flourish. Means what? He is giving us example what the wind does. Say, to explain these two lines, let us take an example. Say we are lighting a candle and put it in front of a window where there is a airflow. Now what happens to that candle? It is put off by the wind. But imagine a forest is on fire or a building is on fire. Then if the wind blows, what happens? The fire will become strong and it will flourish. Flourishing means what? It will develop and it will spread it will spread. So that is what he is saying. The wind blows out weak fires. If the candle light is very weak, so it is put off by the wind. But when you compare it to the forest fire, which is very strong, and the wind, what does it do? It helps the forest fire to spread along, spread more, to become more, to develop more. So that is what wind does. If you are weak, it will blow you away, and if you are strong, it will help you. That is the friendship of wind. That is how it is good. If you become strong, wind will help you to become good. It will help you to develop. So we praise him every day. So the poet is saying we will praise him like a god every day. This is about the poem. Now if we think about the theme of the poem, or what the poet wants to tell us is, in our life also we have so many problems, obstacles or hardships. What we have to do is, hardships are in the form of wind. Now if we are weak and we are not able to face the hardships, then we are put off. But if we become strong and if we face the hardships or obstacles head on, then we become a stronger person. Those hardships will make us more stronger. That is what he says. The wind is like an obstacle in our life, and it will make you stronger if you face the problems and overcome them. This is the theme of the poem. You have to be physically and mentally strong to overcome the life's hardships. Now there is no rhyme scheme. The poem is a free verse. So as this is translated, there is no rhyme scheme to the poem. So let us discuss about the figures of speeches used in the poem Wind. If you see, I have highlighted the word don't. In the last poem also, if you remember, the road not taken, which we have done, in that the word and is repeated in the consecutive lines. In the beginning, continuous lines, it is given the same word. Then that kind of figures of speech where the same word is used as the beginning in the continuous lines, that is called as anaphora. Same thing is used in you. See, in the beginning all the you are used, that is called as anaphora again. Now here throughout the poem, the wind is given human being qualities. So the figure of speech used when human being qualities are given to non-living things, then that is called as personification. Here wind is not a human being, but here the poet is addressing wind, saying you, him, he and all. So it is called as personification. Okay. And when we said each stanza in wind is made up of 5 lines, if you see here it is showing 7 lines, but what did I say? The fourth line is continuation for 3 lines continuously, because there is no full stop over here if you look. So that is a single line, that is considered as a single line, and in a single line if a word is repeated again and again, it is called as repetition. Okay. And then look at the words wind and winnows. It starts with V sound. When the same sound is used, then that is called as alliteration. Then again he, him, he, his, him. I just now told you this figure of speech where human being qualities are given to non-living things, that is called as personification. Okay, this is about figures of speech used in the poem. Now the last topic is discussion of question answers. What are the things the wind does in the first stanza? If you look in the first stanza, it says don't shatter the windows and don't scatter the papers. So these are all we can add here. So we can say when the wind blows violently, it destroys everything. It breaks the shutters of windows, scatters the papers, throws the books down from the shelf, tears pages and brings along a lot of rain. Have you seen anybody winnow grain at home or in the paddy field? Yes, I have seen winnowing grain in my village. What is the word used in your language for winnowing? In Hindi, the word used for winnowing is fatakna or channa. Okay, sifting. What do people use for winnowing? They use winnowing fan, also called as anaj jeetne wala pankha. Okay. What does the poet say the wind god winnows? Now what did we say? The wind god winnows. He sifts the grain from the chaff or husk. Here we can say the wind god winnows the wind god winnows means what? Means that nature sifts the weak things from the strong ones. Everything that is weak is tossed by the powerful wind and gets destroyed, just like the winnower separates the grains of wheat from the chaff or husk. Similarly, the wind god sifts the strong ones from the weak ones. Okay. What should we do to make friends with the wind? Now we explain this. We must make ourselves strong to face the violent wind. When we will be strong, the wind will not harm us. Instead, it will become a friend to us and helps us to grow and flourish. What do the last 4 lines of the poem mean to you? The last 4 lines of the poem carry an important message that the strong people emerge stronger and victorious in the face of hardships. We must make ourselves strong like a burning fire which grows and flourishes in the violent wind. We also prosper in the face of challenges. How does the poet speak to the wind? In anger or with humor? The poet speaks to the wind in anger. You must also have seen or heard of the wind crumbling lives. Have we seen wind crumbling lives? Yes, we have seen in all this tsunami and all, so much destruction. So many buildings were crushed and taken away by the ocean. So many people's lives were destroyed by the wind. What is your response to this nature's calamity? What is our response? We are very angry, okay, and we are also angry at ourselves to make the nature become violent on us. Our behavior towards nature, we did not treat the mother earth properly. That is why the natural calamities happen. Is it like the poets? Yes, it is like the poets, okay. Now, the poem you have just read is originally in the Tamil. Do you know any such poems in your language? This you have to think and write your own answer. Thank you for bearing with me. It has been a pleasure to be able to discuss this poem with you, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.